Tai Lung, Kai, and Lord Shen returned, and at the same time didn't return in Kung Fu Panda 4. Things got weird. Dreamworks had gold in their hands and had everything to make the most of this beloved trio of villains in the best way possible, but they managed to mess it all up. And in this video, we're going to have a detailed chat about their involvement in the fourth film and try to understand the amount of plot hole and nonsensical things that happen. You're on the Cine Lovers channel, your channel for movies, animations, and films. As written in the title, this video contains spoilers for Kung Fu Panda 4, so now it's at your own risk. The Chameleon wanted to steal the Kung Fu from every villain in the spirit realm, and when we saw that for the first time in the trailer, it immediately got us hyped because the three villains from the other films would surely appear. Then those spots came out, which are those released scenes. Then a scene of the Chameleon transforming into Lord Shen leaked. Everyone loved it. I made several videos, and when it came to the movie, it didn't happen quite like that. We expected more from the villains in this fourth film. What made me most upset, and was somewhat disappointing for any franchise fan, was that Lord Shen and General Kai didn't have any lines. They entered mute and left silent. They had their power stolen by the Chameleon, and then they were just calmly trapped inside cages. But what was even more upsetting was not just that. There's a scene where Po talks to two other villains who are also trapped there, but no one even knows who they are. The audience wanted to see Lord Shen, Kai, and Tai Lung, and instead of this conversation that Po had with these two villains, it should have been a conversation with Shen and Kai, bringing that nostalgia. Everyone would have liked it and the story would have been more interesting. But the confusing details don't stop there. Lord Shen died in the second film, and since he's not a master, he didn't go to the spirit realm. So how did the Chameleon bring him from there? This becomes very strange in the film's narrative and makes no sense whatsoever, because it's not explained afterward either. And any fan who has watched all the films will notice this plot hole. And then Lord Shen stays trapped there in the cage and doesn't try to get out, doesn't scream, just stays there still. In fact, all the villains stay quiet watching the Chameleon and Po fight. Too weird. But worse than this was what happened with Kai. The guy stayed in the spirit realm for 500 years, and then the story of Kung Fu Panda 3 shows exactly him returning to the mortal realm and telling his whole backstory. To leave the spirit realm, Kai had to steal the chi from all the masters who were there. That way he would be able to leave, meaning the guy's main goal was to leave the spirit realm. Okay, keep that information in mind. Then, at the end of the third film, Po defeats Kai, and he ends up dying there in the spirit realm and he disappears. So how did the Chameleon bring him back through the spirit realm? Man, this is too confusing. So leave that top like if you also find everything confusing. But the crazy things didn't end with these villains. At the end of Kung Fu Panda 4, Tai Lung comes to Po and says it's time for the villains to go home, to go back to the spirit realm. Man, what's this? Tai Lung, for starters, is alive. He only went there at the end of the first film because Po did the Ushi finger hold that sends people there. In fact, that's how Po also does it with Kai, sending both of them there. So if Tai Lung is alive and since he went to the mortal realm, why does he want to go back to the spirit realm? It makes no sense at all. And General Kai also goes back there just fine, even though the guy was stuck there for 500 years. Beat up all the masters who were with him in the spirit realm, stole everyone's chi, returned to the mortal realm, went back to the spirit realm, and then disappeared. So Kai comes back to life and simply goes to the spirit realm by his own free will? The story of the third film is precisely about Kai wanting to leave the spirit realm. It's not possible, folks. These events in the fourth film, especially regarding the three villains, don't make sense with the others. It's like they forgot everything that happened to the characters between the first and the third Kung Fu Panda. And when I say it had everything to be the best of the four, it's because it did. As I've mentioned before, they should have taken inspiration from Spider-Man No Way Home, where all the old villains from Spider-Man appeared, had an incredible amount of screen time, spoke, and even interacted with the protagonists. That was missing in Kung Fu Panda 4. I really hoped it would be in that vibe, but it wasn't. But there was at least one good thing about the villain's return, which was with the amazing and feared Tai Lung. At least he interacted with Po, had lines, and even fought hard against the Chameleon's henchmen, which incidentally is one of the best scenes in the movie. The choreography was beautiful and Tai Lung showed off his kung fu skills. The Chameleon, as I said, is the strongest villain in the franchise. She can transform into anyone she wants, but to have the strength and ability of that character she transforms into, she needs to be face to face to steal the kung fu, just like she did with everyone. Then, at the end of the film, Po manages to return power to all the villains and Tai Lung grabs the Chameleon by the neck and takes her to the spirit realm along with him. But she can turn into whoever she wants, even without the powers anymore. She could have just turned into that giant elephant and she could have escaped from there. And even if the villains caught her again, at least she would try to escape from Tai Lung's hands and wouldn't accept defeat so easily, meaning it would give more screen time, more emotion, more challenges for the characters. For me, there was no need to bring in a bunch of random villains, just the three would have been great. Then they could have worked on each of them in the best way. They would have had more screen time, lines, it would have been much better. Despite these points that could have been better, go watch Kung Fu Panda 4 in theaters to see if you agree with what I found or not, and then come back here and write your opinion in the comments. The film has positives and negatives, and here on the channel, there are several videos about this wonderful franchise, and you already know that Inside Out 2 is also coming, and I noticed several hidden secrets in the trailer, so it's time to get up to speed on everything and click on this video here. Don't forget to like, and thank you very much for getting this far. Until the next video here on Cine Lovers.